What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Isaiah. We're coming up to the end of 2024. This year I made about over $250,000. The year before that, I barely made $10,000 for the whole year. So I was broke the year before this year. Next year I plan to do 500,000 in profit. And in this video, I'm just gonna go over what it looks like to go from $0 a month to $10,000 a month. $10,000 mark is very, very powerful, especially when you make it for the first time. But it's another thing when you get $10,000 a month consistently every single month, like it's nothing, okay? And in this video, I'm gonna go over and describe what that journey looks like and some of the things that you're practically gonna go through and have to face in life, not just the business aspect of it, right? Because you can make $10,000 a month from damn near anything, right? Literally anything, copywriting, whatever. Wholesale real estate, drop shipping, whatever. But there's life that goes along with that, right? So in this video, I'm just gonna describe what that journey looks like to level up to 10K and every level after that. Okay, so let's get into it. So I got level up. This is the isolation period is what I'm gonna talk about. So there's a period of when you're trying to change or when you're trying to level up to where you're abandoning who you were, or you're trying to be somebody different, right? You're trying to hang out with better friends, richer friends, better looking friends, whatever, fit, more healthier friends, whatever. There's a season of your life when you're trying to change who you are so you don't relate to the people on the same frequency that you used to be on, but you're not exactly the person that you want to become yet. So you're not hanging out with the people that relate to or who are on that level. So there's this isolation period. There's this little period in the middle where nobody understands you. You have nobody to relate to, nobody to talk to, and that's normal. It's totally normal. It's textbook behavior. It's textbook, like it's canon, right? It's canon to the level up journey. There's always going to be that isolation period to where nobody from your past really gets you, and nobody in your future, future life that you want to live, you're not really hanging around those people yet, okay? So I'm going to go over that. So this isolation period, so I wrote all this down. I don't know if you could tell what I wrote, but so this is what a chart looks like of frequencies to get to 10K a month, right? Here's $0 a month, then you got maybe 2K, then you got 5K, then you got 7K, then you got 10K, right? And each one is a frequency. Each one is a frequency and a way of life, okay? So over here, I defined it. So frequencies. Each frequency is a way of life. So $0 a month people do $0 a month things, okay? $5,000 a month people do $5,000 a month things, okay? It's just who they are. It's what they do. They expect that reality. They're used to it. Their mind is set on that setting, that level, that vibration, right? I'll never not make 10K a month, right? Like that's normal, right? 5K a month is a bad month. You don't understand what I mean? For some of y'all, 5K a month would be a good month. For me, that's a bad month. So frequencies, way of life. So frequencies don't mix, guys. So people who are making 10K a month, right? They don't really vibrate with people who are making $0 a month. It's just two different people. Right? You might know people who make $0 a month while you're making 10K a month, but you're not on the same level. You don't talk about the same things. You can't relate in the same way. You might be able to relate to things on his level, that $0 a month level, because you were there once. So you know how to relate to people who are maybe from your past or whatever. You could still relate to them because that's where you're from, but they will never be able to relate to you. You've been on their side. They have never been on your side. Okay? Frequencies don't mix. Okay, so when you're hanging out with a bunch of 10K friends, they don't like hanging out with broke friends. They're not used to it. It's a burden. It's like not in their realm of reality. Everybody has 10K. Okay, they don't do the same things that broke people do. Okay, it just comes down to, what do these people do? 9 times out of 10, these people are not doing that. And the things that these people do, 9 times out of 10, these people are not doing that. So frequencies don't mix, and each frequency requires something different. Remember, this is an isolation period, a time to level up, right? It's the isolation period. Each frequency requires something different. So what required you to go to 5K a month is not the same as what requires you to get to 10K a month. And what is required from you to get to 10K a month is not going to be what's required for you to get to 50K a month. You understand? Each level requires something different. You know, to get to 10K a month, I always use this analogy, right? People who think millionaires think different from six-figure earners, right? And decamillionaires think different from people who are millionaires, right? A millionaire would be more focused, a millionaire business owner would be more focused on building teams, leadership, sales leadership, training, things like that. A six-figure earner, maybe like a lead sales position guy, might focus on just being good at sales, only good at sales courses, talk to as many people as possible, get good at sales, overcoming objections. That's what the sales six-figure earner would focus on. And the millionaire, he already knows this, but he knows that to get to $1 million, he needs to focus on building teams, being a leadership, having good accountability, good training systems, good systems and processes. It's two totally different mindsets, two totally different things. So this person over here is never going to get over to this side of life until he starts adopting the habits and way of thinking of the person on this side of life, okay? So each level requires something different of you, okay? So a good way, if you don't know what to do, just start doing things well, let's get into it. Each new frequency requires shedding of the past frequency, right? So if you want to get to 10K a month, you have to stop doing things and shed the lifestyle completely while you're going through this transition period. You have to shed the 0K lifestyle and you have to fully adopt the 10K lifestyle, okay? It has to happen. So in order to get to that there's a quote that I have from jail that I keep to this day. I've had it since the day I was in jail, kept it all the way from here. It says, that new life you want so bad is going to require you to let go of the old one completely. And that's very true. Each level that you go to, you're going to have to drop the old things of this level, this past, your past, whatever that is, whether that's partying, whether that's smoking, whether that's drinking, whether that's looking at certain types of shows, whether that's reading certain types of books, hanging out with certain people, going to certain places, being in a certain city, whatever it is, you have to be willing to let it go and detach completely. So that's frequencies. Now let's go over the isolation zone. Okay, remember, the isolation zone is the period between levels where nobody really understands you and you have to be alone and you have to fully transform into that new version of yourself that makes 10K a month, right? It's not about how to get to 10K a month. It's about who you have to become to make 10K a month, right? But I'm about to give you 3 tips on the how. I'm about to give you 3 tips on what to do when you're in that isolation period trying to get to 10K a month and nobody really understands you, right? So, number 1, study the way of life of people on your desired frequency and imitate it as long as possible until it starts to feel normal, okay? So if I'm at 0K a month, I want to study people, not people who make $1 million a month. I want to study people who make 10K a month and I want to see what they do, right? It's more tangible for you. Now, if you want to skip to $1 million, you could do that, bro. It's all about the mindset, whatever you think is possible. So if you want to be a millionaire, you start to study the lifestyle and the perception of millionaires. The perception is very, very important. This is a way of life. So you're going to study their habits and you're going to study the way they look at life. You're going to study, how did they wake up? How do they feel when they wake up? What's the first thing they do when they wake up? How do they look at taxes? How do they look at money? How do they view money? How do they treat money? What do they do? How do they talk to themselves? Are they a very negative person? Are they a very positive person? Are they fit? Do they go to the gym? You want to start studying the way of life of people who are at the desired reality that you want to have and create. And you have to start imitating it in your daily life, right? The small things are what matter the most. So what is the morning routine of the person that you look up to? Start doing their morning routine. Eventually it'll start to feel normal. Now you're not trying to be that person, you're trying to vibrate on that frequency. You understand? You're not trying to be that person, you're trying to be a new you who vibrates on that frequency. So study the habits of multiple people on the frequency that you want to live and pick out the things that you see common traits between all of them and adopt them into your life. Do all of them read? Okay, now you start reading. What do I read? I don't know. Just read something. What are they reading? You should read probably the same thing that they're reading. Okay, read 1 page a day. Take it small, one step at a time. If you want a good book on this, Atomic Habits by James Clear, changed my life forever. Okay, so study the habits of people who are up here, of where you want to be, and implement the little daily habits and way of life that those people do into your life. And do it long enough, over a long enough period of time. It's going to feel weird at first because you're doing things that you never did before. But do it long enough to where now it starts to feel normal. Now you are starting to literally vibrate on this frequency. And you're going to start to see opportunities start to come your way. It's crazy. Okay, number 2. Get used to not being accepted or understood by people on the frequency you are trying to leave. Like I said, again, there's this isolation period because the people, you're not trying to be where you're at anymore. You're tired of being broke. So you're going to start doing things that not broke people do. But all of your broke friends are going to look at you like you're weird. They're going to look at you like you're a freak. They're going to say you changed. They're going to say what's wrong with you. All these other things. And you have to be okay with, you have to get used to it and accept it. It's just reality. It's not like they're coming out of a place of spite or anger or jealousy or envy. If they are, then you need to cut that person off. But usually it's not even haters. It's family members who they're not used to this new version of you, and it makes them uncomfortable. And they don't know that it makes them uncomfortable. They don't like it. They don't know it. They're like, hey, maybe you should go back to being in your normal space, right? Maybe you should go back to getting a 9 to 5. Maybe you should go get a job. Hey, did you hear this place is hiring? Did you go look at this place? How's that thing turning out? Maybe you should go back to being normal. Things like that. Maybe you're getting a little too excessive, okay? That's a good sign that you're moving in the direction that you want to move. That's actually a good sign. So don't let it deter you. Don't let it discourage you. It's actually a good sign, okay? It's actually, canon to the level up. So when family starts treating you weird or start saying you change or you're being weird or da-da-da, good. That's awesome. That is supposed to happen, okay? So get used to that and accept that up front. And when it starts to happen, don't feel butthurt. It's just a part of the process. Eventually, it gets to a point to where everybody and their grandmama from their past starts hitting you up and say, bro, how did you do it? Oh my God, how'd you do it? Can you put me on? Teach me how you did that. Oh, if he did it, I know I could do it. Lend me $1, you know? It's crazy. It's crazy how it turns out, but it's real. Everybody looks at you like you're crazy until it works out. All of a sudden, you're a genius. Okay, number 3, completely detach from the outcome and only focus on the identity change. This is one of the most important lessons. You can't be up here trying to adopt the habits of people who make 10K and then, when am I going to make 10K? When am I going to make 10K? That's not, you're going to fuck everything up. That's not how it works, right? Just because the people at 10K, they read books every day and they jog every day, just because you start reading books and start jogging every day doesn't mean you're immediately going to start making 10K a month, okay? Remember, it's not about what, it's about who. When you become this person who vibrates at this frequency long enough to where the universe sees that you truly are this type of person, because the universe is going to test you to see if you really are this type of person, right? You're going to have to go through the trials and tribulations and, things that a 10K person goes through. You're not going to be dealing with broke people problems anymore. You're going to be dealing with 10K problems now. Can you handle that? The universe is going to see. And once it finally sees that, yes, he's capable of doing it, he belongs up here, the universe will give you 10K a month. It's real. That shit is real. The universe will give you 10K a month. Don't know where, don't know how. It just 10K minimum every single time. It just so happens. Like, I expect nothing less. That's real. That's a reality change, okay? And this is like the science of that. Real shit. You could figure out how to work a business, but if you don't have this in check, you're going to lose the money every time. But usually when you're starting a business, you have to go through this regardless to get to that point anyways. Okay? You just have to be careful not to backslide into your old frequencies, into your old way of life. Okay? Make sure to stay up here, vibrate up here, and you'll always have money. Okay? If you got any value out of this, make sure to hit the like button, comment, subscribe. If you want to work with me directly and be a student, just DM me on Instagram. All my info is going to be in the description below. If you want my free wholesaling script that I use to close deals and make a minimum of 20K a month every single month, and if you want the contracts that I use to close all these deals, to make all the money that I've made, just DM me on Instagram the word script or contract, and I'll send that over to you for free. Okay? Peace. Stay motivated, y'all.